Ever get that, like, nagging feeling? You know, when you suddenly remember, oh, it's been ages since I went to the dentist.
Oh,
Well, get ready, because today we're going deep, deep into why those regular dental visits are so important.
hmm,
And trust me, it's about way more than just, sparkling white teeth.
right.
We're diving into some fascinating research from the Oral Health Foundation. And let me tell you, I was blown away by some of the stuff we uncovered.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Like, did you know that just going to the dentist could actually be life-saving?
Wait, hold on. Life-saving.
Seriously.
I mean, I know taking care of your teeth is important, but life-saving.
Absolutely. One of the most important things your dentist does at every checkup is screen for mouth cancer.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
They're checking for cancer during a regular cleaning? I had no idea.
Yep, it's a simple visual check, but it can make all the difference. They're looking for anything unusual, like lumps or red or white patches, anything that could be an early sign of trouble.
Wow, okay, so it's not just about keeping your teeth clean. It's about, like, potentially catching something serious early on.
Exactly, and they don't just check your mouth, they'll check your head and neck, too.
That's amazing. It's like having a built-in cancer screening every time you go. I've always thought of dentists as, the filling and cleaning people, but this is a whole new level.
Right. And speaking of keeping things clean, we can't forget about the unsung heroes of dental care, the dental
Oh,
hygienists.
absolutely. Those are the ones who make your teeth feel all squeaky clean after a good scale and polish, right?
Yeah. That's them.
I've always wondered, what exactly is a scale and polish? What's actually happening there?
So it's much more than just a fancy cleaning. It's actually a crucial part of preventative care. Your hygienist uses these special tools to remove plaque and tartar, those stubborn deposits that brushing alone can't always reach.
Oh, so they're like specialized cleaners for your teeth, basically.
Exactly. They're experts at getting all those nooks and crannies that you might miss with your regular toothbrush.
That makes sense. And I know they also play a big role in preventing gum disease, right?
Absolutely. They're trained to spot the early warning signs of gum disease and give you personalized advice on how to keep your gums healthy. Early detection is key because if you let gum disease go untreated, it can actually lead to some pretty serious complications.
Okay, so I'm starting to see how these regular checkups are about so much more than just avoiding cavities.
Right. It's a whole health thing.
Totally. But speaking of, dental stuff, what about all the buzz around tooth whitening? It seems like everyone wants that perfect Hollywood smile these days.
Yeah, tooth whitening has definitely become super popular, and there are a ton of options out there, but it's important to be cautious about those DIY methods and over-the-counter products.
Right. I've seen those kits at the drugstore, but honestly, I've always been a little scared to try them.
Yeah, I get it. Some of those products use really harsh chemicals that could damage your enamel, making your teeth more sensitive and actually more prone to staining.
Yikes. So not exactly the shortcut to a brighter smile they make it seem.
Nope, not always.
So what is the safe way to whiten your teeth then?
Honestly, your dentist is the best resource. They can assess your individual needs and recommend a safe and effective treatment.
Ah,
They use professional-grade products and techniques that minimize the risks.
gotcha.
Plus, in a lot of places, going to the dentist is actually the only legal way to get your teeth professionally whitened.
Interesting. So instead of gambling with some DIY kit, it's always better to just talk to a professional. Okay, so we've covered cancer screenings, hygienists, tooth whitening. But is there anything else dentists are looking for during these checkups? I mean, it seems like they're playing a much bigger role in our overall health than I initially realized.
Oh yeah, totally. Think of your dentist as a detective for your mouth.
Ha, okay, I like that.
They can spot subtle changes and catch problems like gum disease or decay before they become serious issues.
So it's kind of like getting regular physicals to catch health problems early on.
Hmm.
We should be thinking about our dental health the same way.
Exactly. Being proactive is key. But why is catching these things early so important? Well, early detection can mean the difference between a simple filling and something more invasive, like a root canal. Not to mention, you'll save money and discomfort in the long run.
Wow, I never thought about it like that. It's like fixing a small leak in your roof before it turns into a major flood.
Exactly. You're preventing those big problems down the line. Plus, going for regular checkups helps you build a relationship with your dentist.
Right.
They get to know your mouth over time, understand your individual needs, and can offer personalized advice based on your specific situation.
That makes a lot of sense. But I have to admit, I sometimes find myself turning to the internet for health information. Is that a bad idea when it comes to dental health?
Well, it can be a bit tricky. While there's a ton of information online, it's not always accurate or applicable to your specific situation.
Oh, okay. So even if the information is accurate, it might not be the right advice for me personally. So having that personalized guidance from a dentist who knows my history is really valuable.
Absolutely. They have years of training and experience, and they can assess your individual needs and recommend the best course of action for you.
So it's really about building that relationship with your dentist, someone who knows your history and can guide you over time.
Precisely. And that personalized approach is something you just can't get from a quick internet search.
Right.
It's an investment in your long-term oral health. I'm curious, what has resonated with you most so far? What stood out as particularly surprising or important?
Honestly, I'm pretty blown away by the fact that dentists are checking for cancer during regular visits. I had absolutely no clue that was part of their routine. And this whole idea of early detection and prevention really resonates with me. It's making me rethink my own dental hygiene routine and how I can be more proactive about my oral health.
That's fantastic. It's all about shifting our perspective from seeing dental visits as a chore to viewing them as an investment in our overall health.
I couldn't agree more.
It's amazing how just understanding what happens at the dentist can, like, totally change how we see those visits.
Yeah, for real. I mean, going from thinking it's just a cleaning to like a potential lifesaver is huge.
Totally.
It's making me realize maybe I've been taking my own dental hygiene routine for granted.
It's easy to do, especially when you think everything's fine. But that's why those regular checkups are so important. It's like taking your car in for maintenance.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You might not notice any problems right away, but a good mechanic can spot potential issues before they become huge headaches.
That's a great analogy. And speaking of potential issues, that Oral Health Foundation article we're looking at also mentioned a connection between oral health and overall health.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little more about that?
Definitely. For a long time, we kind of saw oral health as separate from the rest of the body, but now we're starting to understand just how connected they really are.
So it's more than just a nice smile. There are like real health implications.
Exactly. Research has shown some pretty strong links between poor oral health and a bunch of other conditions like heart disease, stroke, diabetes, even respiratory problems.
Whoa, seriously, I had no idea it was that connected. But how does that even work? How can something in my mouth impact the rest of my body?
Well, your mouth is full of bacteria, right? And when your oral health isn't great, those bacteria can get into your bloodstream
Oh, wow.
and travel to other parts of your body. That can trigger inflammation and contribute to all sorts of diseases.
So it's like a domino effect. Neglecting your oral health can start this chain reaction that impacts your well-being in a bunch of ways.
That's a great way to put it. It shows why taking care of your teeth and gums is so important. It's not just cosmetic, it's about protecting your whole body.
That's pretty eye-opening. You know, you were talking earlier about personalized advice from dentists.
Yeah.
What are some things they might notice that I wouldn't? And how would that lead to specific advice for me?
Okay, let's say you grind your teeth at night.
Oh.
You might not even know you're doing it, but your dentist would see the wear and tear in your teeth. And then they might recommend a custom night guard to protect them.
Ah, that makes sense. So they're picking up on these little habits or issues that we might not even realize and then offering solutions or advice.
Right, it's about being proactive, not just reacting to problems when they happen.
I like that. I'm definitely guilty of only going to the dentist when something hurts, but it sounds like there's a lot more to it.
Absolutely. And it's never too early or too late to start prioritizing your oral health.
You know, there's so much information and advice online. It can be overwhelming. What are some downsides of relying only on the internet for dental health info?
That's a really good question. The internet can be helpful, but you have to be careful. The info you find might not be accurate, up to date, or even right for your situation.
Right.
And it's easy to misinterpret things or try to diagnose yourself, which can actually make things worse.
Oh, yeah. You could end up doing some home remedy that backfires.
Yeah.
Or waiting too long to see a professional when you really need to.
Exactly. It's like trying to fix your car engine by watching YouTube.
Uh-huh.
You might get lucky, but you could also do more damage.
Good point. That just shows how important it is to have a professional you trust. Someone who can give you personalized advice,
Totally.
like a mentor for your mouth who really understands your history.
Exactly. That's something you just can't get from some random online forum.
You're right. Well, we've talked about a lot today. We started with that mind-blowing fact that dentists are checking for cancer during regular visits.
Right.
Then we learned about dental hygienists and why professional tooth whitening is better than DIY. We even got into the connection between oral health and overall well-being,
Mm-hmm.
and how relying only on the internet for advice can be risky.
Mm.
It's a lot to process.
It really shows how important those regular dental visits are.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm not as nervous about going to the dentist anymore. I'm actually starting to see it as, like you said, an investment in my health.
That's great. It's all about shifting our mindset and seeing oral health as part of a healthy life.
I totally agree. I think you had a question for our listeners to think about.
I do. Given everything we've talked about today, what parts of your own dental hygiene routine might you want to change and why?
That's a great question. I know I'm going to be thinking about my own habits. And before we wrap up, I just want to remind everyone to check out the Oral Health Foundation's website.
Yeah, good idea.
They have tons of information on all things dental.
A great resource.
It's definitely worth a look. It really is, yeah. So much good information on there. This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening, learning about taking a proactive approach to dental health.
It's easy to forget about our mouths when we think about being healthy overall, but as we've seen, they're a bigger part of the picture than we realize.
Absolutely. I used to think, brush and floss, that's all you got to do. But clearly, there's so much more to it than that.
For sure. It's about finding a dentist you trust and getting advice that's specific to you and being proactive.
Right. Exactly. Like, why wait till something goes wrong? It's got to be better to prevent those problems in the first place.
Definitely. And that's where those regular checkups are so important. Catching things early makes treatment way easier and less expensive.
Plus, it helps us build those good habits that'll keep our mouths healthy for years to come. You know what? After all this, I'm actually looking forward to my next dental appointment.
That's awesome. Don't forget, your dentist is on your team. They're there to support you and help you have a healthy, happy smile.
Well said. All right, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive into the world of dental health. I'm so glad we did this. I learned a ton, and I hope our listeners did too.
It's been a pleasure talking about all this with you, and I hope everyone listening will take what we've discussed and put it into practice. Remember, a healthy smile starts with making informed choices.
Absolutely. So until next time, everyone stay curious, stay informed, and don't forget to schedule that dental checkup. Your mouth will thank you.